if you could use a phrase with 2 or 3 words that would immediately change a person's state or the direction of a conversation in a productive way? In this video, I want to talk to you about the power of short and memorable phrases. Let me tell you a story. I was once managing a plant and we weren't doing very well, and one day I was in a brainstorming session where I was the scribe and I'd asked everybody to tell me what they thought the problem was. And so we had a large team in the room of people, and everybody was shouting something out, and I was trying my best to keep up. Then all of a sudden, this fellow from the back of the room got up and said, "Come in the kitchen." Well, even though I was kind of puzzled as to what that had to do with what we were talking about, as a good scribe and following the rules of brainstorming, I got up to the board and I wrote, "Come in the kitchen," just like he said. And we went on and for a few seconds, and others were puzzled, but we were going to go on. And he got up again and he's like, no, come in the kitchen. And I was like, well, that's what I wrote down. He's like, no, I think come in the kitchen is the problem. And so finally it dawned on us that he's talking about communication. We had a heavy accent and somehow he was pronouncing it, come in the kitchen. So I went up to the board, put a line through, come in the kitchen, and I wrote down communication. Well, guess what? This particular occurrence really helped us, and it served us in a big way. Because from then on, every time we were in a conversation and somebody detected that we had a communication problem, they would just immediately say, hey, you know what? We just need to come in the kitchen. And it made it real easy for us to shift the focus on what we needed to do to communicate better. You see, and I've made use of these terms over the course of my career many times. Things like, are we on the court or are we in the stands? These are distinctions that very quickly bring the attention to the right topic. Are we 100% committed or are we 50-50? As a facilitator many years ago, I used to use the term ELMO. And ELMO stands for enough, let's move on. But I told everybody up front that if we sort of started to get off track, that I would call ELMO. So when you have a phrase like that, it's much easier to just go ahead and shout it out and shift the state, as opposed to thinking about whether you want to raise that issue or not, or are you accusing somebody of something, or how would I really phrase this, and all of that. So what you want to do is you want to be on the lookout for these powerful phrases that don't require a lot of explanation and yet are very effective at signaling something and moving the conversation in a different direction. So what I'd like you to do is begin to listen for these phrases, especially if you've attended some training as a group or something. Listen to sort of what is sticking. And when you identify these phrases that are resonating with people, then begin to use them. Begin to perpetuate that language until it is firmly sort of established in the organization that when somebody says that term, this is exactly what they mean, and that is the effect that we are looking for.